welcome to this update video. I hope you have been really great. Now we're going to be looking at what's going on in the Atlantic basin. So we're going to talk about these two systems which we have out there. We have Tropical Storm Gordon, as well as that area offshore the southeastern states that may loiter around and actually try to make it to tropical storm status. So we'll be talking about both of these, but in the long term, models are pretty consistent on something trying to get itself together in the Caribbean. So we'll be looking at that as well. Switching to the satellite imagery, here we can see all of this activity going on right now across the Atlantic. So we have all that, the clusters of showers and thunderstorms associated with that disturbance offshore of the southeastern states. So once that detaches from the main frontal system and tries to organize itself, it may briefly acquire tropical storm status. And then there we have Gordon out there. Gordon is not going to be a problem for anyone. And there are also a couple of other tropical waves across the basin. Here you can see them on the surface chart. We have one tropical wave offshore Africa and two are in the Caribbean. We can see the axes being highlighted just about there. Now, as we're going to be heading throughout today for the Caribbean region, there's going to be some increased shower and thunderstorm activity across some areas. Not exactly something uncommon to see at this time of year. And there are a couple showers loitering around some areas this morning as well. But as for the U.S. South today, looking at the rainfall forecast here, we can see that it's likely to be pretty active for parts of the Greater Antilles and Cayman Islands. We can see these shadings of yellows, oranges, and even a few red spots around. So there could be some substantial rainfall here and there. For Cuba, the Cayman Islands, a few spots in Jamaica as well, Haiti and the Dominican Republic, maybe a few areas in Puerto Rico, but not too widespread. And we also see parts of the Bahamas and the Turks and Caicos Islands highlighted with these colorful shadings, so there could definitely be some substantial rainfall around. As for the Virgin Islands and most of the Leeward Islands, a whole lot of rainfall not expected, but there could be some passing showers. Heading further south, Guadeloupe to Grenada, including Barbados and maybe Tobago as well. There could be some shower activity around. Similar thing for parts of Trinidad. Not a whole lot of action for the ABC Islands nor the Guyanas. But as for Colombia and parts of Venezuela, especially towards the Pacific coast, it's likely to be pretty active today. Central America, it also gets quite active, so there could definitely be some periods of heavy rain within some of these territories. That is what is anticipated as it relates to rainfall activity. Nothing crazy or out of the norm. But looking a bit more on Gordon here, we can see that it is forecast to weaken to a depression and is not expected to strengthen much after that. And as I said, it's not going to be a problem for anyone. It currently has maximum sustained winds up to 40 miles per hour and is moving to the west-southwest at 10 miles per hour. So it's going to be making a curve up to the north by the middle of the week and be moving up and out as we head into the weekend. As for the system located offshore the southeastern states, we can see that it has a 50% chance of formation, and this is through both the next 48 hours and 7 days. So it kind of has limited time to get itself together, but models have been favoring it, trying to quickly strengthen into a tropical depression or storm before it would eventually move inland. So areas such as Georgia and the Carolinas definitely need to keep watch, because this could be a significant rainmaker and that would unleash flooding within some areas. Now, as for the long term, as I said, models have been highlighting that we could see something try to get itself together in the Caribbean. This is the Euro ensemble members, and this goes out to Tuesday evening, the 24th of September. So as we head into next week, and here we can see these different L's. The L's show an airflow pressure, where we have a big cluster of all of these L's indicates where there was a pretty decent agreement on something potentially trying to form within that particular area. Now we can see that for the northwestern Caribbean, all of these L's, all these different members are expecting that we could see something here. Those members would be for the current system offshore the Carolinas. And then we can also see members out there for a tropical wave that would be coming off of the African coast. So as these waves come off, once the conditions are favorable, then we could definitely see development. As for GFS, we're seeing here that the ensemble chart is looking pretty messy around the same time frame. And we also see these different members coming up and out of the Caribbean, suggesting that we could see development there. We may see a tropical wave trying to get itself together offshore Africa. So we kind of see that agreement with both of the ensemble maps here for both the GFS and Euro. Development will all be dependent on the favorability of the environment. So once there isn't a whole lot of dry air around, once there's a lot of moisture in the low and mid levels of the atmosphere, and the upper level winds are also conducive, meaning that they're not very strong to interfere with those thunderstorms that would try to get themselves together, then we could most certainly see development. It's not something out of the question. And one of the things as well that would really help to boost intensification is the fact that there is a high ocean heat content in the Caribbean. There's a lot of warm water, not only at the surface, but beneath the surface. When we think about the past year or so, we haven't really had a lot of systems moving through the Caribbean and using up all this energy. So there's a lot of energy stored, and that would allow for rapid intensification once other conditions are favorable. So I have been watching the models for some time. They have been hinting at the West Caribbean for potentially seeing something develop and move up to the north, either to the Gulf or over Cuba. So that is unknown. The track is unknown at this time, and there's no guarantee either of development. So we definitely have to wait and see what the eventual outcome is going to be. But I'm here to keep you posted as per usual. So that is essentially what I wanted to share with you guys in this update video this morning. And I do hope that you found it to be very informative. However, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll respond to you when I have the chance to do so. And remember to always be weather-wise.